know you want to have a great snack before we film the Sunday school lesson. Oh, hi everybody! How's everybody today? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, this glass is half empty, and this has a hole in the middle. There's a piece missing.
Chris, you're looking at this all the wrong way. Well, this glass isn't half empty, it's half full of delicious chocolate milk. And this donut, don't focus on what's missing, focus on everything you have. Look at this huge ring of food, delicious. You shouldn't be complaining, you should be thankful. Imagine how annoying it is for God to hear everyone complaining. You know, in the Bible, there are many people who complained, but there were also a lot of people who knew enough to give God thanks and praise. So, which one are you? Come join us today for another amazing Bible lesson about being thankful. Check this out. Isn't that annoying? Well, can you imagine how annoying complaining is to God? God hears all our words when we complain. But He's the very God who created us, who provides for us, who watches over us. In the Bible, there were many people who complained. The Israelites were one such group of people. You know, God's chosen people. And these Israelites were rescued from slavery, and yet they complained. They complained about walking in the desert. They complained about food. They complained about not having water. They complained about everything. Despite everything that God had done for them, rescuing them from slavery, providing for their needs, parting the Red Sea, and destroying their enemies, the Israelites chose to complain instead of being thankful. This didn't make God happy. You know, this is true of many of us today. So many of us complain when we really have so much to be thankful for.
I don't want to wear a mask. It's uncomfortable and it hurts my face.
Chicken again? We had chicken yesterday.
We complain just like the Israelites, but we have to let go of our complaints. Instead, we have to give God thanks and praise from our heart. In good times as well as bad times, we need to give God thanks and praise. He's always worthy of our praise. 1 Thessalonians 5:16 says this: "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus."
We're supposed to give thanks all the time?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, even during a pandemic?
Yes, Chris, that's true, because there's always something to be thankful for. And because God Himself is always worthy of our praise.
I like to think about the goodness of the Lord. He gives me everything I need and so much more. So I just want to lift my hands and say that I love Him. I just want to lift my heart in praise. And I want to be thankful. I want to be grateful. I want to remember everything that the Lord has done. I want to be thankful. I want to be grateful. I want to be. I like to think about the goodness of the Lord. He gives me everything I need and so much more. So I just wanna lift my hands and say that I love him. I just wanna lift my heart in praise. And I wanna be thankful, I wanna be grateful, I wanna remember everything that the Lord has done. I wanna be thankful, I wanna be grateful, I wanna be thankful, I wanna be grateful, I wanna remember everything that the Lord has done. I wanna be thankful, I wanna be grateful, I wanna be
Wow, wasn't that song great?
It was awesome.
Did you know that in the Bible, God says to give thanks 76 times?
Wow, 76. That's a lot of times.
If he says it that many times, he really must mean it.
Jesus himself gave thanks to God. There was this one time when there were only a few loaves and a few fish and many people that Jesus wanted to feed. But Jesus took the loaves and the fish and he gave thanks to God. And then God did an amazing miracle and multiplied the fish and the loaves, and he was able to feed everybody with fish and bread left over. There was also this other time when Jesus' friend Lazarus had died, and Jesus went there to his home, and he started to pray out loud and talk to God his Father, and he thanked God out loud for hearing his prayers. So if Jesus gives thanks, we know that we too ought to give thanks to God.
Hey, I know this other guy who was thankful to God. He had spots all over his body. And Jesus healed him.
Back in Bible days, there was this terrible disease called leprosy. And people who had it were highly contagious. And they had to live away from family and friends. They had to live outside the city. Hey, that sounds familiar to some sort of disease we have going around today. One day, Jesus was walking to Jerusalem, on the border of Galilee and Samaria, near that area. And there were these 10 guys who had this terrible disease called leprosy. And they were covered with it. But they shouted out to Jesus and asked him to have pity on them. And of course, Jesus did. And Jesus told them to go and show themselves to the priest. And while they were walking to the priest, they were cleansed. They were healed. And out of those 10 guys, do you know how many went back to give Jesus thanks once they saw they were healed? There was only one, just one guy who went back to thank Jesus.
I can't believe it.
Now switch. Believe it, only one knew to come back and give thanks to God. Wait, are you like those 9 who didn't bother to come back and thank Jesus? Or are you like the one who came and gave thanks? So today we learn that there were a lot of people in the Bible who complained, like the Israelites.
And also a lot of people today.
But we need to let go of those complaints. And we need to give God thanks. We need to thank God every day for who he is and for all he has done. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone!